So moving on to the MLS. Obviously, discussed this in the previous episode. Like that was the first time I discussed it, and yeah, Inter Miami had another game versus Philadelphia, and they lost again, unfortunately. Of course, Pizarro, my guy, he was able to score a nice goal, very finessey, fancy goal to tie the game up at 1-1, but then Philadelphia scored to win it 2-1. So now Miami's chances of advancing are pretty slim to the group of 16, because how it works is the top two teams in each group, they automatically move on. And in Group A, which is where Miami is, the top two teams already locked in, which is Orlando City and Philadelphia. So they're moving up. And then for third place teams also move up. And so that's Miami's only hope. But it's still, even if they win against New York, which is their third and final game, the odds of being one of the four third place teams is very slim. So it's disappointing, unfortunate for me, but hopefully the team's able to improve over time and get better. I thought the goal by Pizarro, as I mentioned, was nice. It showed flashes of offensive prominence, but defensively, there's a lot left to be desired, and that wasn't great. Now moving on to the NFL, where two defensive linemen were recently extended, Chris Jones and Myles Garrett. So starting with Chris Jones, he got 4 years, $80 million, which is amazing by the Chiefs, considering the Mahomes extension. And actually, the Mahomes extension is what allowed them to extend Chris Jones, because the money's now going to be backloaded and all that. And so it doesn't kick in until 2 to 3 years from now. So they were able to get Chris Jones 4 years, $80 million. He's a huge part of their defense, and being able to re-sign him and Mahomes long term in the span of a week is really impressive by Brett Veach, who I'm a big fan of, as I previously stated, because he's really good at his job and he knows what he's doing as a GM. Moving on to Myles Garrett, 5 year, $125 million. That's a lot of money. He's now the highest paid defensive player in the league. And I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a good job by the Browns, right? He's a franchise cornerstone, obviously. And even with the helmet incident, that happens, I guess. Well, no, it doesn't, but it happened. But it's hard to argue that he's not a big-time player, as a pass rusher. And he's key on that defense. He's going to be the anchor of the Cleveland defense for a long time. And so that's huge. And yeah, those are the extensions. Now, guys that didn't get deals done, specifically, one guy, Dak Prescott, and the Cowboys, they didn't get a deal done before the deadline, so he's going to be playing on the franchise tag this year, $31.4 million. And they almost did get a deal done, worth $33 to $35 million per year, with $110 million guaranteed. So I don't think Dak is worth top tier money as a player, but he's earned it through durability and reliability, right? He's earned a good contract, and that contract, with the details that I mentioned, also would have become wouldn't seem that expensive in a few years when the cap goes up a lot, and so they didn't get it done. And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out again over the next year, if Dak plays on the franchise again next year, or he actually gets an extension. So we'll see.